Friday, everyone. Your real worth isn't defined by your net worth. What makes you valuable is how you use what you have been given. All of us have gifts. Make sure you're making the most of yours. Have an amazing Friday.
It is now the bottom of the hour. I'm excited to welcome Nancy Matthews to our program today. Nancy is an author of a book. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it in the carousel for you guys. There it is, The One Philosophy. I want to talk to Nancy not only about the re-release of the book, but also what it's been like for her to share the message with all of you guys. Nancy, great to have you on with us.
Hello, hello, hello. So happy to be here.
Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school, no easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running. 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who, without Mrs. B, might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the...
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Good morning. How is everybody this wonderful Thursday? I was about to say Friday. This week has been like going quick. And can you believe we are almost in April? April. One more day, April 1st. Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, what did I do? What have I done from January to now? It's like, I said, I need some kind of record to say, Barbara, you did something between January and March. Because this is craziness. I was like, we really? And you know how you have, I know everybody at the beginning of the year, well, I got to do this and this and this, and I got all this. And then you get, and you're like, okay, I everything I was supposed to do to the side, everything that was intended for you to do, you did. And that's how I look at it. It's like, okay, sometime you plan that out and you be like, okay, all that plan was going out to the other side. But don't look at it as like, oh, dang, I missed it or whatever. Look at it as it was intended for you to do what you had to do with the time that you had. So if you look at it that way, then you won't be so kind of like looking at that list and saying, I didn't get it done. But you did get done. You got some things done that was needed. You got some things that was needed. And if part of what you've done was personal care for yourself, self-care, that was very important. Very important, especially now that a lot of us in the same boat, we know about pandemic and all that. That's, I mean, if we're going to talk about this at Costco, we know it's there. It's just like, okay, that's part of life right now. But you have to look the other way and say, what am I going to do to position myself to make sure that I'm good, to make sure that you're doing your gifts for you. And that's why I'm always so excited when I have queens come on my show and they show their gifts. And wonderful queen, and I always tell her this all the time, and I'm going to keep doing it, Miss Pastor Paulette. She is just amazing lady, and she found a way. And I know this wonderful co-author, and she's an author. She's a lot of other things too. Marilyn Evans. They found a way to say, look, I'm not gonna let this stop me. I gotta keep it moving. I can't let things. This is just a little, task. It's another like, those low valley things that teaches you. I always say, and that gets you to that next level in your life, and that's what it has done for all of us. But I always tell people, you have to make that decision. You can say one thing, say, okay, I'm just moving on up. You know how you say that song, moving on up to the east side. I think that's Jefferson's, right? But you have to move to the next level, no matter what is trying to stop you, because that makes you stronger. I always tell people every level that you accomplish, as I say, makes you stronger in what you do totally. And then it doesn't only help you get strong in what you do, but then other people see that and it helps them, give them hope to make them strong. And that's what it's all about. It's making a difference for yourself, then making a difference for others. And then we all come out together and we say, we did it. We did it. So I want to read, I always want to read something like a little quote or something that I found to kind of just, get you to thinking. And then we're going to bring our queens up. We're going to bring our queens up because I want to make sure that you get to know these queens and understand what they're doing, because we're celebrating something really, really big that they're doing. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to keep it a secret until they come up. I can do that. So this one passage is, your life is your message to the world. I love it already. When I read this, I said, this is fitting. This is very fitting for today's guests. And these guests, I've been having the Breaking Point authors, co-authors in the main Visionary, Paulette, to come on every Thursday. And when you think about it, and I was thinking about this, it says, your life is your message to the world. They put pen to paper, and they said, okay, you know what? I'm going to make my message what I went through, what I dealt with, all the good, bad, and the ugly. I'm going to put it out there because I know I want to help others. And they did. It takes a lot. It's one thing to go through something and say, okay, tell a few people, yeah, I went through this and I dealt with this. But it's a whole huge thing when you say, I want to put this thing on paper and pen, and I want to tell the world my story. And it's probably going to hurt and cut and everything else. But see, they're looking at the bigger picture, and they looked at the bigger picture. And Pastor Paulette looks at the bigger picture for all her books and all her co-authors and say, look, you're going to be light of the world. Each and every one of you are light of the world. I always say that. All of us have the ability to live a life that will inspire the people around you. Parents can inspire their children. Employers can inspire their employees. Teachers should inspire their students. And students should inspire their teachers who may be tired or exhausted from some hours of paperwork. Children can inspire their parents instead of criticizing them. Employees may inspire their employers by going above and beyond their job requirements. Your life, now this is the thing, your life is your legacy to your family, your friends, and the world around you. This world can be a better place, and this process begins with each and every one of us. Today, inspire someone by setting a good example. And believe me, each and every person that's on this platform, especially coming on today, has set a tremendous example for the world. So we're going to bring these queens. And I call on my lady queens because they're royalty, because what they do, what they went through, what they're going through now, they're queens. And I always have to remind them of that, because people always ask me, Barbara, you always call lady queens. I said, yes, because it's my mission. And I always said it's my mission to keep reminding the women, to keep reminding each and every one of them, because we got to encourage each other. All this breaking down, we got to encourage each other and say, you know what, you're queen. You got a crown. Sometimes you got to tip it here or fix it here, but you have a crown. You are royalty, because when you think of yourself as a certain way, then that just comes out in others, and people see that light, because people need to see the light right now. So yes, all women are queens. And that's just, and there's no getting around that. So this is always going to be said. But before I bring the queens, I got to make sure I bring them on right. So here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Pastor P.
Good morning.
You're looking good as always, so early. And Miss Marilyn Evans. Are you okay, lady?
Yes, I think it finally hit me.
Oh,
we got spirits this morning.
Yes. It's a blessing. It is a total blessing. And I'm still sitting here like, Marilyn, you did this. I'm sorry, y'all. I had no intentions of crying today.
This is your
But
thing. No, lady.
it's just amazing. I can't believe that. I wrote my first book in August and now I'm doing it again. I just can't believe it. It just seems so surreal to me.
Just
Praise
God. Praise God.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I just want you to take it in, Queen, because you deserve it. Pastor P, And this is where another thing, it's not just only a chapter. Yes. See, I always tell people, especially women, because like I said, I really just amazed when it comes to women. I want to always lift you up. It's not just a chapter. This is your bloodline of what you give into the world from your life.
Yes.
Yeah. And it sits there and it says, okay, I need to look around the world and touch the people that need to be touched by my story.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it wasn't in vain. Okay.
Yes.
So that's why it's so important. It's more important than what people, just putting a pen to paper, because it's bigger than that, much bigger than that. So I congratulate you, Queen. I really do. And I'm loving it. You're gonna make me cry, lady. I was almost there a little while ago. I'm like, dang, I'm sitting there talking. I said, I'm about to cry.
And I think that's what got me was your message. I was like, yes, that's so true. Yes.
Well, we're gonna get right into. I see some hearts coming. I see people. Let me see. I always look at some good comments and stuff. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so sweet. So people congratulating you.
That's awesome.
I know I see some hearts. There we go with the hearts. That's what I love. That's what I love. So I always want to start off first by, just a quick introduction. And we're going to, get into the chapter just a little bit. I always tell people we're just going to get a glimpse because we want you to buy the book. I'll tell people it don't make sense to give you the whole chapter. We need you to buy the book so you can read everybody's wonderful stories. So I'll start off with Marilyn first, lady. So just kind of I know that you're a motivational speaker for mental health, healing, and forgiveness, which I'm loving because that's much needed right now. Much needed.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have to commend you, lady, for the U.S. Air Force. Come on. Wow. I salute you for that. Yes.
Thank you.
Give it up, everybody. Serving our country. Mm-hmm. So see, you're just full of all this goodness.
Yes.
How could I not? Yes. We have to. So wonderful. So just I mean, I know I gave little tidbits of what you are, but that's just, you have so much more. So just kind of give a little more introduction of who you are.
Good morning, everyone. I'm speaker, author Marilyn Evans, author of When the Little Girl is Healed, the Woman Will Show Up, and co-author of The Breaking Point. I have been a letter carrier for 18 and a half years. I am originally from Montgomery, Alabama. I live here now, and I'm the oldest of 4 girls. My original book, my first book, basically talks about healing and my mental health issues that I dealt with, some molestation, some sexual assaults that happened to me as a child. And I wanted to heal. I was so angry. I was going through so much. And I did not realize that I had, mental issues until I went out to the VA and they diagnosed me with major depressive disorder. And when COVID, I was always taking care of everybody else, always running, doing everything, for everyone else except me. And when COVID hit, it set me down, when everything closed up, except for the post office, of course. I was still working, but it made me realize, Marilyn, it's time to live. It's time to heal. But probably around 2011, 2013, I started therapy, still in therapy until this day. And it has helped me tremendously. And it's like the pandemic brought so much mental health to the forefront that we had not seen before, had not dealt with before. And I just want to show, help people heal through my story, my grief, what I've been through, because my grief started, I thought, at the age of 16 when my dad passed. That's when I thought my grief started. But through counseling, it started way before then. So just a little bit of that helped me. Okay, Marilyn, it's time to do something. You can't stay like this. You can't stay stagnant. You got to heal, and you got to help others to heal. So I asked God, I said, okay, God, I need you. Please, please heal me, but heal others as well. But I don't want them to hear Marilyn. I want them to hear you when I speak to them. Give me what to say to them to help your people heal and to be delivered. And it birthed my book. It birthed my purpose. Because, when we going through stuff, we can't see what we're going through. And then once we come out on the other side, the whole time God's been there with us. Okay, I ain't gonna preach this morning. I'm gonna be good.
I'm just like, I'm in church. I'm like, yes, keep talking.
And it brought me to Miss, I don't know. I was scrolling on Facebook and I was like, okay. And I saw Miss Paulette and I was like, this looks intriguing. I think I want to do this. And one thing led to another. I had that call and it was on from there. And I have enjoyed it. I'm thankful. And I am so grateful for this chance. I really am. I guess I never thought the impact, and it's amazing. You just never know getting that chapter, getting that book in people's hand, how the healing can start them. They can put themselves in our situations because we're just everyday people. And they can see themselves in our stories.
Yes. I mean, just a quick pause there. But like you said, you said a whole lot of good things here. But I loved how you said they can, see them in your story, because we're not so. It's like everybody said, well, I feel so alone, or I'm the only one that's going. I know I'm the only one going through this, or I feel embarrassed because I'm probably the only one. And I keep saying you are just so close to so many others going through something probably similar that what you have. When I first came out with my story and I talked about my dad, because I know your dad passed at an early age. My dad, I was 17 when my dad passed, but he was murdered. So it took a lot for me, and through putting it in my chapter, that was healing me, and I didn't even realize it. I didn't put it in a chapter in a book till I turned like 40 something. And I know, tell my age a little bit, but anyway, so 40 something. And then I figured out when I was writing that chapter, it was therapy for me.
Yes.
Because I was thinking I was like, I'm good. It's happened a while ago. I know it hurts because he was my rock and all that. I mean, I always just see him spiritually. I always feel like he's here anyway, around me all the time. But then when I was writing it, had to go back, because the person that I was writing the book in, because I was in the book with other authors, they kept saying, you're going to have to go back, Barbara. You're going to have to, I don't know, it's going to hurt and sting, but you got to, because you got to bring it into that chapter. And first I said, oh, I got this. You know how you be like, oh yeah, I'm good. Okay. Oh, shoot. I'm glad they had a counselor to the side, because I was like, I thought I wasn't as good as I thought I was. But I'm glad that I went through it, because that was me. Because first of all, I wanted to make that chapter powerful, just like you did with your chapter, to make sure that people say, look, I hurt, I went through. There was things that happened that hit, but I'm still standing. And see, that's what you're doing, Marilyn. And Paulette, you got your own book, you got some chapters in the book. I mean, you're all over the place, and you got your stories too. And we just got to realize that if we could pass through that, get that therapy within ourselves when we're writing those chapters, and then moving forward, say, you know what? I want this to touch any lives that need to be touched, because I want them to know that they're not alone.
Yes.
And that's what you've done. And Pastor P, with your vision of all the books that you do, the collaboration books, you're bringing those, you're just saving lives. I always tell you, oh, you're saving lives. And when you think of it like that, it doesn't seem so hard to say, let me, write this out, because now you're saying on the other side, saying, hey, I'm helping somebody. I'm saving that life. That, I'm a light to the world. I'm going to make sure that they know. So I know, Marilyn, that, at the beginning it was like, whoo, but I am so glad to see you come out on top shining.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
It's all about, lady. Oh, okay. We got some more people saying it. Come on. I love showing the love. Yeah. See, Candace knows.
She's the one I wrote through my first book. Everybody that's coming on is in my first coaching group. So yes, I'm so thankful. I am. I'm so
See,
thankful.
I love the support. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The queens are coming out to support the royal queen here. Now, Paulette, I know, we've been on for the last whole month of Women's History, and this is the last day of Women's History. But, in my mind, I'm going to tell a secret. It's always women's.
Okay.
They just gave us a month and said, okay,
Right.
you could do March and just really, but every day is Women's Day for us. We deal with stuff all the time. So, Paulette, I want to say, because I've been asking you about, your vision and what you've been doing in the book. But one thing I was thinking about the other day when I was thinking about you is when you have like the women and men, because you have men in your book at times too, and they bring their stories. They can be in different phases of it. Some of them might be scared to do it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Some of them are like, hey, I'm just ready to put this in the book. Some of them are kind of teetering a little bit. And then they bring out the stories. And see, for you, you're just not saying, I'm hearing one story. You're hearing a lot of people's different stories. So how do you, because I know that can touch you too and be like, oh my God. So how do you, go through that process?
Yeah, Barbara. First, thank you so much for having us on. I love you and I appreciate you bringing us, to your platform. You're right. There are many different stories and everybody is at a different level. I've just learned how to, I try when I'm coaching to really get the author to go a little bit deeper in their story. And so for me, I'm able to identify with so many facets of all of these authors and the stories that they bring because I've lived through a lot of these stories. At some point in my own life, I've lived through them. And I can read it from a place of, I know how it feels. I know what you're going through, but I also know the end result that you're going to make and the impact you're going to make to the reader. And so I'm able to really dive into their chapter and give them the feedback that they need so that they can really see within themselves. They can go deeper. They can share a little bit more because this is how you're going to be able to resonate and connect with your audience. And so I've just found myself in a lot of these stories. And so I can identify with a lot of the content that they're talking about and their own experiences because I've been there myself. But, when I'm coaching, I come from a different lens. I come from a different perspective, that I come from a place where I can look at their story and give them the feedback that they need because I know how the story, the chapter should flow, the intro, the middle, and the end. And at the end of the day, it is really about giving the readers some solutions and some wins for themselves. And the authors, they may not realize that they have it within them as they write their stories. They may not realize that they're really coming from a place of victory, a place that they have overcome, and they need to see that in themselves, and they're able to do it as they write these powerful, impactful stories.
Yes, definitely. Like you said, when you get to the point of, okay, you're putting it in the book, you're putting in a book, and then you realize how much I love the impact been coming out a lot this morning. And it's so true. Making an impact in other people's lives. It helps because it's like you said, it's therapy for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably therapy for you too, Pastor P, hearing other people's stories too. You're like, okay, this is, you're helping me and going through this whole journey with you. So that's nice as a coach. I love how you said you're not just a publisher. I mean, you're basically a counselor. I always look at you as a counselor in a sense. You're an encourager.
Yeah.
And on a spiritual level, you just you see people what they went through and said, you know what, we need to take this so we can help others and touch their hearts and their souls. So you do a lot, and that's what makes the difference. And I know I'm selling Pastor P. I have to. That's what makes the difference between her as a publisher and someone else as a publisher, is that she truly cares. She gets into your soul. She helps you bring it out. And you said, okay, you are going to change the world with what you're doing. And then she puts it on paper and pen for you and help you do that. And then from that point, that's not it, Pastor P, right? Even after the chapter, what do you do, lady? Because you do some things after.
Yeah, they present their chapter to me before it even gets to the editor. And so I like to just really give them the feedback to help them at least before it gets to the editor, make their chapter as best as it possibly can. So when the editor gets to it, she's really cleaning it up. She's making it shine a lot better. She's communicating with them. She's giving them, that one-on-one as well. And so, I want my authors to have an amazing experience going through this. I don't want them to feel as though becoming a co-author is a bad experience that anyone can go through. But I know that there are times where co-authors do have the best experiences with going through an anthology, and I don't want that for my authors. I want them to have the best possible experience that they can, and so I try to do more than the necessary. No one in my anthologies will just be give me your chapter and then I don't see you until it's published. It's not going to be like that with me, And so I take the time out to make sure that these authors are cared for, because I really do love them. And I want the best for them. I already see the end result. I already know what's going to happen when the book gets released and we go through that whole process. I know, but they don't know, and that is the surprise factor that I love about doing this, because when they get to that place and they see the impact that they've made, they see what they are capable of doing, even in just one chapter, and they see their abilities. I mean, just like, when Merlin was crying here, she was all making me cry because you see the impact, you see, and like she said, it's surreal, and it really is. And this is why I do what I do, because of these expressions, because of these emotions that, bring out these authors, and they see that it's more than just a chapter. For them, it's building their confidence. For them, it's seeing that their story is going to make an impact with the world. For them, it is being present and seizing the moments and the opportunities that are presented to them, and that, one interview, one chapter can go so far. And so my job is to have that platform for them, to build that platform and allow them to come and join me as I connect with them and connect them with other people as well.
So good. Whew. I'm telling you, I know I'm about to cry again when you mentioned it about Maryland. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to hold back. But you know what? I always tell people it's good to let it out, because that's the joy. It's not just, because sometimes people look at tears and say, oh, I said, it's not just the, sad part about it. This is joyful tears of that I, did this, and then I want to help others. So look at those are joyful tears that we're giving this morning. And Pastor B, I'm just so glad that you take them through that journey, so they are getting healed throughout that journey. Like I said, it's not just, just writing a chapter and putting it out there, and then, like you said, okay, it's published. I mean, basically, you're just like, no, I'm helping you. I'm with you all the way through this. And at the end, that's what I always say, you're the lighthouse of the world, then you shine for others.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get to some more, just a little bit deep of Marilyn's chapter and talk a little bit more of that. But we got to make our sponsors happy. So we're going to bring them on real quick, and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. And if you're just tuning in, you missed it. No, I'm just kidding. You can always see the replay of this, but you did kind of miss it if you haven't seen the beginning. But I always tell people, come back and look at these wonderful queens, get to know them. I mean, they've been on every Thursday, all the most of them, of the co-founders of The Breaking Point, with the lovely, wonderful, amazing, spectacular Pastor Paulette Harper. She has brought all this together. As always, another project. Like I said, this is not her first. This is not her, like they say, this is not her first rodeo. She's been doing this for a long period of time. And I know she just gets the joy of helping other people like Marilyn, who is a part of her book called The Breaking Point. Now, I want to say I love the title, and I asked Pastor P about this before, but can you just give just a little why you called it The Breaking Point? And then I want to get to Marilyn on her chapter.
Yeah, for me, the breaking point really does signifies those moments and times in our lives that we get to that point where we want to change, where we've done, enough is enough for us, and we've finally got to the point where we've said, no, I need something different from my life. I demand something different from my life. And so we take it, because it's a choice that we make. And so all of us have those breaking points. For some of us, it takes years and years and years to get to that place. And so whatever your breaking point is, it's that moment that one more, incident, one more experience, one more circumstance will just really, tilt you over. And so you want to get to you get to that place in life where you want something more, something has to be different, and where you want to go in your life. And so, we get to that breaking point where we want to do more, where we expect more, where we really deserve more, And so when we are writing these chapters, it's those moments that where life, we had an option. It's either going to break us continually, or we're going to change and allow what has happened to just really catapult us and propel us to do something different for us. And that these are the moments that we can really be selfish and do self-care for us, because we've, given to other people. We have deposited in with other people. We've tried to, get other people to affirm us, to, celebrate us. But no, these are the times where we get to that place where, you know what, I'm taking my life in my own hands. I know that God is with us. I'm taking life in my own hands, and I want to steer my life in the direction that's going to benefit me. And then people that don't like it, people that don't want to join me, it's okay, as long as I am steering this course of my life in a direction that's really going to, make it better for me as I live this life out.
Ooh, words of wisdom. Ooh, dropping some golden nuggets, lady. But yeah, I think about that too with the breaking point, because we've been doing this for like I said, for over a month on Thursdays. And I was thinking that we all have to come to that point. Some people might think of this as like the breaking point. Oh my God, I'm losing. Oh my, they look at it in a negative, like, most people do. The negative seem like it's so easier than the positive, and that's bad. But we have to look at it as, okay, the breaking point, you came to that point in time of your life, and now it's like, okay, boom, I'm letting it go. I'm moving on, or I'm pushing through, or this is the point that I have to just say, I got to do this, or let it go, or whatever it is. And that's needed. When you keep things in, that does, and then it's going to either explode now, or it's going to explode later, somewhere where you don't want it to go. And we kind of noticed that this past week, but we're not going to go there. But it's just, but even with that, people need to let it out, and it can come out different ways. But once it happens, then you can keep going. Right?
Yeah, it's very liberating,
Yes.
because we don't know until we get to that breaking point how much of bondage we've been in, how much depression, how much toxic relationships that we have been in, so much stuff that we have been holding, and suppressing, because we just move through life and we deal with it, meaning that we don't address it. And when you get to that breaking point, you have to address the issues now. You have to address the reality of where you are and where you want to go. And it's really okay when you get to that place, because it is a moment of, of making a decision at that moment, whether you're going to continue going in that direction and allowing life to just really continue to suppress you and kill you internally, or you're going to decide and say, you know what, I have to deal with me. because if I don't, I'm going to end up dying, and I don't want to die because God has given me so much life that I can live, And so we have to make that turn. Whatever that U-turn is going to be, we have to make that turn and then really do life the way that God wants us to do life.
Yes, definitely. Like you said, it's just a life and death for you. Like if you don't let that go, because it can build up so much, it can cause different things within you, physically, mentally, spiritually. So you have to make sure that you have to let it out. You really do, especially if you went through a lot of different things. And I know I'm just going back to Maryland, and I was reading your your bio, how you went through the struggles, the abuse and all that. And if you keep all that in, that could really, kind of just grab at your soul. So, Marilyn, I want you to just give, first of all, the title of your chapter, and then just give us a little glimpse of it on why that particular chapter for you.
My chapter title is called Undefeated. Mm-hmm. And with everything that I've been through in my life, I felt like it was just fitting. My chapter is basically about my relationship with my mom. It's basically a continuation from my book and the struggles that we went through, the unforgiveness that we went through. But it was mainly, just like Pastor said, we needed healing. We got to that breaking point. My breaking point was my mom's and I's relationship. It wasn't a mom-daughter relationship. And my dad died when I was 16, and I was a daddy's girl and still is until this day. And it's just that the stuff that we was going through, the stuff that I went through, I felt like was part of my mom's. And I was holding, and it was holding on just like that. Pain, it was like cancer growing in my heart. And I couldn't take that pain anymore. And I was like, Marilyn, you gotta heal. Because just like Pastor said, it kills you. It does. You're just walking, you're just living, but you're just existing. And I was like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I can't live like this. But I had to release and give it all to God in order for me to heal, in order for me to walk in his purpose and see what he had for me. Because at the end of the day, I tell people, how can I say that I love God, but I'm holding all this in my heart over here for everybody else, including my mom? I can't. I can't. I need him to deliver me from all this that I done been through, and heal me so that I can walk in my purpose, what he has me walking in, and forgive. And that's basically, what my chapter is about, my relationship with my mom, and all the, some things that we went through, her and I. And that's one reason why I said it's called Undefeated. Yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait. Just the title alone has me like, okay, Pastor P, I gotta get this book so bad. You just don't know. I can't wait to get this book. Oh, yes. I'm seeing you get the love here. Go ahead, Pastor P.
No, I just wanted to share something about Merlin's chapter. When she submitted her chapter to me, and as I'm reading it, and this is something that I do with all the authors, I'm able to read it and see really at where they are at that place emotionally and spiritually. And so I remember when she sent me her chapter, and I'm reading it, and I sent it back to her, and I said, you're not healed yet, and we have to write from a place of healing, And so I remember her and I, we had a session, and, and I prayed with her. Because for me, I'm just not a publisher. I really do love these authors.
That's okay, Pastor P. Ooh. Sometimes you just have to sit in it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really do love these authors. And I want them to write at a place of healing, because we can't share our stories of healing and impact unless we're there, And so her and I sat and we had a spiritual session.
Yes. 30 minutes.
You know, we had that session. Some of the
Yes.
Jesus
Yes.
session.
It was
You know, and so when we finished that, she was really able to just really write in freedom, you know, from that place of, you know what, I am whole, you know, and so I'm really thankful that you know, her title, Undefeated, she really is, you know, and this is the thing about when the authors are writing, they have to see, you know, that what they've gone through is for a purpose and for a reason. And it's for somebody else that's going through that, you know. Our stories can be similar, but our experiences are never the same. And it's those experiences that we're able to share, you know. And so I'm proud of all the authors saying yes, because you have to go to that place of pain, you know, if you're going to write these powerful nonfiction, you know, chapters, you know, you have to go back to the place where it first originated, you know. And sometimes we think we're healed, sometimes we think we have we've been, you know, we've released people, sometimes we think that, but when we're writing our stories, sometimes that story reveals to us, you know what, I'm still not really healed on this, and I need to address it, you know. And so I'm real grateful for the opportunity to take the authors through that process, knowing that, you know, when they do write this chapter, they're writing from a place of victory.
Yes. It's, you know, I wanted to take that pause for you and, you know, Queen Marilyn, because it's needed. Sometimes you have to just take the pause. We're so busy just, you know, and then we don't like just let it sit in and understand what you just did.
Yeah.
You have to sit in that, Pastor. I'm saying for you too, that you are showing people the miracles through these women and men, through their story, by publishing it and sitting with them. And like you said, having that breakthrough moment within you too, when you met. It starts with that. And then just bringing it through that way, so people say, wow, wow, what an impact. I needed this. You know, and there's thankful. They can thankful to Pastor, be thankful to Queen Marilyn about, you just put it all out there.
Yeah.
You took that time to put it out there for me, you know, and they're thinking, that's just people reading your chapter. That's what I'm talking about. The people are going to be reading your chapter. They're going to be saying, thank you, Marilyn. You put it out there for me, because I was struggling and I felt like I was defeated. And if I see you shining through everything that you went through, and you shining, and God has you up there just shining, then maybe there's some hope for me. And that's what's going to happen. And that's what people think. So that's why I said, just don't take this as just a chapter. And I keep stressing that point, because it's much more than that. It's much more than that. This is legacies that you're leaving out there for life. When we move on in our life, I always say, when we get our wings, these books are going to be standing for the people that are coming behind us, because they're going to be going through some things. They're going to deal with some same issues we dealt with, and they're going to have to hear and read what you and Pastor P and myself and everybody, so they can say, oh, there is hope.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're basically, you legend legacies that you're leaving, those little droplets in those books. So I'm just so proud of both of you and all the other co-authors. That's why I love bringing you on. And I told Pastor P, I said, hey, any others you had, just bring them through. Just bring them through. Because we got to show, people need to see this. You know, this should be hidden. We got to bring this, you know, visibility here. So with that, I always ask, and Pastor P knows this is my little thing I do at the end, is first give me just one word that, you know, that resonate with you, that kind of that you hold on to, you know, in your life, just one word. And then after that, just let them know how people can contact you, because it's just not you as a co-author, Marilyn. I mean, you have like your own business, you're a powerful speaker. So I want people to reach out to you if they need you to come in and basically maybe, you know, speak for them into their life or that. So I want to start with you, your one word, and how they can contact you.
Faith. And I'm going to say this right quick before I give them all that. You know, I look at myself growing up in the projects as a child that was bullied to be where I am right now. And I know it's all because of God and my purpose, and everything that I've went through has gotten me to this point. And without him, I wouldn't be sitting here today. And because of that, I just want to say to you ladies, thank you so much for the opportunity and the blessings that I'm going through right now. I could not have done it without you. I'm on Facebook as Marilyn Evans, Instagram, MarilynEvans.1, Twitter, Marilyn Evans 5925. My website is MarilynEvansEnterprises.com.
Okie dokie. So Pastor P, your one word, and then how they can contact you, and also with that, add when the book is going to come out, because I don't want to forget that. I did that last time.
Yeah, so my one word would be to celebrate. Celebrate your wins, your small wins, your big wins, just celebrate. And people can connect with me here, of course, on Facebook as Pastor Paulette Harper, Pastor P. I am on Twitter, Paulette Harper 1. Excuse me, Paulette Harper 1. I'm also on Clubhouse as well, Paulette Harper. My website, pauletteharper.com. And the book release is going to be the ebook, April the 19th. So we're definitely going to be doing a push for Amazon bestseller. And definitely we'll be asking those of you who support this project to, help us get to that place of bestseller in many different categories. Also, our book celebration, our book launch celebration, where all the speakers will go live, share their stories, will be on Saturday, April the 23rd at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And more information will be dropping on social media in regards to that as well. And so those of you who have yet to pick up a copy of the book, make sure that you grab a copy from Merlin and any one of the other authors, so that, this legacy definitely will live on, and that these powerful stories can be, shared with the world.
Yes. Like you said, the legacy can live on. So let me try to do this. So if you have faith in your heart and in your soul and in your mind, that's when you know who you are, who owns you, which is God. That's what we all believe in. Then you can celebrate in yourself and within others. Yes. Loving the words, loving the words that you just don't know. When you come on, you're just a gift to me. Thank you, God. I got to thank God for that. Really do have to thank God for bringing the queens on. So we want to make sure, again, we set dates. Now, I'm talking to the audience right now. Now, there's no excuses, because if you maybe missed it because of all the emotional and all the strong things that was happening in this particular interview, you might have said, oh, I missed what Marilyn said about where to contact her, or Pastor P, what dates did she say? Well, okay, you can contact me, because I have all of that. So there's no excuse saying, I can't get to Marilyn, I can't get to Pastor P. No, you can get to me, Barbara Beckley, and I will make sure you get to the queens. So with that said, Pastor P, love you, love you, love you. I can't wait till we can kind of meet in person and meet some of the authors like Marilyn and everybody. We can kind of come together and just have a celebration of its own, with lots of hugs and lots of love, because just through this, and I just love technology, because it brought us to this point, but even more so, meeting the queens. So I again, just put everybody date, April 19th, the ebook comes out and the party starts. Like they said, party, April 23rd. And let's just celebrate these wonderful queens and kings, because like I said, she has men and women in her books. And also just to make sure and remind everybody that whatever breaking point that you have to get to, it's needed so you can move on and make sure people understand who you are, and they can have hope through your stories, through pen and paper, through however you're going to put it out there, because it's needed right now. It's needed right now. The healing is needed in the world. And I keep telling people, through people's stories, you get that healing, because now you're letting it out, and you're letting it out there, and you have that breaking point.
Yeah.
So thank you, ladies, again for coming. You are always welcome on this stage, just to let you know that. And anything that I can do for you, I'm here for you. Love you both tremendously.
Love you too. And thank you so much again, Barbara.
Thank you.